just a no name. I hail from Indianapolis. Mama worked in Georgia because of the racist capitalist. Forces to the east, I dressing with the bacon bits. Syrup sandwich Monday, sloppy Joe Tuesday, Wednesday another hamburger helper dish. I can't wait for Friday so I can get some fried fish.
What up? And was listening to these YouTube streets to Melody Speaks. If you have not subscribed to his channel, Melody Speaks, make sure you go subscribe to Melody Speaks. He's dropping that straight fire. But he has some great things to say about Anton Daniels and this gentleman that was asking a question. Take a listen.
Channel, and it's gonna be the Anton Daniels from AntonDaniels.com. So let's get to it. Let's just get to it.
All right, so I only got one question, man. Why do we compare our relationship with the black women with what the white women got going on with their counterparts, when there's clearly like a supremacy that we still have to overcome? So I understand exactly what you're saying.
Are you running in the Victim Olympics?
We ain't in the Victim Olympics, but it just has to be acknowledged. You feel me?
Why do I have to acknowledge the Olympics?
We can go down the timeline, like after slavery, the black nuclear family was very successful.
Okay, Jim, let me ask you a question, Jim.
I'm listening.
What oppression are you experiencing right now in your life? How old are you?
I'm 30 years old.
Okay, as a 30-year-old man, what kind of oppression have you experienced?
Now we're gonna stop there. This is what he's doing. He already knows where he's gonna land. He already knows where he's trying to take it. Instead of addressing what the man is saying head on, he's trying to get basically, some type of compliance ladder or something like that, so that he could walk a guy into his point. That's all that's going on. He's talking general. Anton gets specific and individual. Let's continue.
What kind of oppression have I experienced?
Yes, sir.
The oppression is already set in stone. If you don't see it, bro,
No. I didn't ask you what the stone said. I'm asking you, what have you experienced from an oppression perspective?
What have I experienced from an oppression perspective? It's almost too much to say, bro. But at the same time, I'm a strong man. I still keep pushing.
No. Just give me two examples. Just give me a hot two.
Two examples. All right. So I'm in aviation mechanics, basically, right? And it's predominantly Hispanic and white. A white man's basically dominating the field. So we go through a lot of in that workforce. They try to
like what? Give me an example.
So
give me an example of how you experienced an oppression.
Now take a listen to some of what Melody had to say about it.
Oppression. Well, he never said he was oppressed. He said we are oppressed. There's a difference. I personally, and I'm not going to get deep on me, but I can't say I've dealt with any hardcore oppression in my life. I can say...
All right. So oppression, let's look at it. Cruel or unjust use of power or authority. All right. And this is usually applied to groups like Melody Speaks said. But if you want to look at individual examples, then you got to look at how you fit in an oppressive society. So the majority of all teachers are white females. Now, why am I bringing that up? Because every human deserves to be socialized and educated by their people. But if you are being oppressed, then you will be socialized and educated by others, right? So whites have the advantage of socializing and educating their children with their people, and blacks don't. And the majority of blacks go to public schools, but even if they went to private, they would experience the same thing because the majority of teachers are white females, right? You want another example? The majority of CEOs are white. So most people hire people that are like them. Therefore, you are being oppressed if you are not able to have people from your culture and ethnicity hiring people. And if we look at the unemployment rates of blacks, they're low. So if we're talking about CEOs, we're talking about CEOs of banks. Last time I checked, blacks need loans. They need capital for businesses that they may start or have started and need to expand or maintain. I got another individual example other than, teachers and CEOs. What about doctors? The majority of the doctors I've had are white because over 60% of all doctors are white. I wonder why, because it takes a lot of money and loans and education to become a doctor. But if your people are oppressed, you won't get access to that. So it will be very few of them that will be able to go to medical school and graduate and become a doctor. All right. And if we look at our health rates, a lot of that is connected to that. Again, because we are people that are coming out of slavery. So a lot of our progress is going to be slower and not as developed as other people.
Say that there are certain things that happen where it's like, okay, I have to remember that I'm black. You got a job interview on a Saturday and they tell you, on Saturdays, we allow people to dress casual so you can come in with whatever you want. You come in and I go in casual. It's a few people looking casual, but it's some people who are dressed business. When I don't get the call back from the job, you gotta evaluate why. And the thing about it, when you black, you could say this is some limiting belief shit, but we'll talk about the limiting belief.
No, you're right. You are right, Mellow D Speaks, because if you're in an oppressive system, that means the oppressors get to set the rules. They get to tell you what to wear, how to wear it, how your hair needs to be, how you groom yourself. That's the point. And Anton Daniels knows this, but he knows that people are not really skilled into examining their individual oppression and being able to articulate how they are individually being oppressed. But you are right. And he was right by bringing up the aviation example. The only reason that whites dominate the field is because of oppression. There's going to be more opportunities throughout history for whites to get that type of aviation experience just because of the history of racism in this country that limited blacks' ability to get higher levels of education or into fields that typically pay a high wage. I mean, we can still see that now. So Melody Speaks is on point, and so was the gentleman on the call with Anton Daniels. He was on point. See, when you're trying to explain individual oppression, you have to see what the system does to you, what the system gives you, and what the system does not give you, which would be different if he was not in an oppressive system. So if we look at a lot of whites, they're going to have whites dominating the system, setting rules, laws, and policies that benefit whites. That's what we see. And as a result of that, we see them on top. Now, some people may bring up the fact that other, ethnicities that come from other places may have a higher median income than whites. But that still benefits the top class of whites, because if any immigrant comes here legally, if they come here legally, because we're talking about legal immigrants that have high median incomes, it's because the white government lets them in to perform jobs in fields that pay high wages that end up helping large white corporations. Because the last time that I checked, some of the largest corporations in this country are white corporations. And it's not because of black people's culture that they don't have very large corporations. There's no study that can prove that. But we can prove through history that blacks have been limited in their ability to get wealth, which will limit how many degrees you can get, because you need some type of wealth to get higher and higher levels of degrees. Or what we see with black women is you take on a whole lot of debt to go to college, but then once you're out, you don't have a job that will help you pay off that debt. That's what we see. But the idea that historically there have been no impediments to black people getting degrees is not factually true. And that's the oppression. You're going to be limited in what you can do in this country because of how they limited you in the past. And the reason why the past is so important, y'all, is if we have a large group of people that don't get to inherit anything, then when it's time to buy cars, houses, fix houses, go to college, you're going to be using debt. Okay? So instead of inheriting money, you inherit debt, because that's the only way you can make it. The debt helps to subsidize what you don't have. So hopefully people understand this. And I want to just shout out Melody Speaks again. You're doing a great job, bro. Keep growing your channel, man. I love what you're saying.